Hello, everybody. I'm Trent, and today we're gonna crack open a Lorwyn Eclipse Play Booster, which I haven't looked at any of the spoilers, so I'm gonna be giving you honest reactions off of my reactions to the cards. You know it's fresh because I just took the plastic wrapping right off. Yeah. I love play boosters for this card alone. Tells you what kind of draft archetypes you have for the set, which is Merfolk for Azorius, Rakdos for Goblins, Selesnya for Kiskin, Izzet for Elementals, and Elves for Golgari. Or White-Blue Merfolk, Black-Red Goblins, Green-White Kiskin, Blue-Red Elementals, and Black-Green Elves. If you're new to Magic. Alright. Oh, we're losing focus. We're losing focus. Wrong camera. Okay. We're back in 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that. Camera decided it wanted to go a bit crazy and lose focus. I should really open this pack on camera. All right. Flaring Cinder. Card cycling for Izzet. In hybrid mantle, in anything but commander, it could go into both a blue deck or a red deck or a blue-red deck. Nice. That's a modal enchantment, or an instant, which white doesn't get many of those to deal damage to stuff or to target enchantments. Land Tutor. -1/-1 counters are interesting. More -1/-1 counters. Surveilling Creature. Surveil is when you look at the top card of your deck and you can either graveyard it or leave it on top. It's Graveyard Recursion Scry. Good draft piece. So the reason I enjoy play boosters so much is you get more cards, which I enjoy cracking packs, always have. So going back to what I was saying, I enjoy booster packs or play boosters because you get more cards, because I enjoy cracking packs, but I also enjoy the fact of I enjoy more of the commons and the uncommons of the sets. I find there's a lot more stuff you can play with them on, and it's nice to see what they're trying to do. Everyone chases the rares, everyone chases the mythics, and the fact is, sometimes you just want it cheap. Spell Snare. Counter target spell with mana value 2, yeah. Exiling Effect. Ooh, Shockland. Shocklands are, as the slide enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it comes in tapped. So you can pay 2 life and you get a white or a blue land for that, or whatever colors they are. Put 4 -1/-1 counters on something. So our pull from that first pack was a Hallowed Fountain, which I'll be honest, that's normally a good sign for me. If I get a rare land in my first booster, it normally means that's a decent pack. Merfolk Tribal. Ooh, that's a fun little piece of equipment. When equipment enters, create a 1/1 color shapeshifter creature token with changeling. It's every creature type. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it is all creature types. A Flame Queen Guildweaver that makes a treasure when he enters the battlefield. Nice. Mill 2 cards. Okay, Runaway Together is one of my favorite little cards here, and this is what we're looking at right here. One it set for 1 in a blue. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owners' hands. Very fitting for that card. I fell in love with it in Baldur's Gate because it's literally just listed looking at Tav and saying, "Let's run away together." Merfolk, Kiskin. The rare this round is Winnowing. Convoke, which means you can use creatures to summon it. For each player, choose a creature that player controls, and each player sacrifices all other creatures they control that don't share that creature type with that chosen creature they control. So, Kindred board wipe. Oh, anti-Kindred board wipe. Okay. Foil is Timid Shieldbearer. Not so great. Creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. So we're gonna pretty much just go looking for rares, or I'm gonna be if I find some cool art. But like I said, I haven't really looked at this set, so I am taking my time reading them and such. This is gonna be a longer video. I'm gonna try to keep it entertaining. Counterspell with an additional cost to blight 2 or pay an extra 1 for a counter target spell. So it's cancel, but with a secondary pay cost to turn it into counterspell. First strike. Verdot Core is a mana rock for 3 with the ability to turn into an elemental. Elder Auntie! When this creature enters, create a 1/1 black-red goblin. Ooh, new dragon. I do love my dragons. Spine Rock Tyrant. 5 mana, 2 red and a 3 generic. Flying Wither. This deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with a single target, you may copy it. If you do, those spells gain Wither. You may choose new targets for the copy. Not bad, not bad. Thunderflock. I do like getting tokens in my boosters instead of art cards. Reason why? You always need tokens. You always need tokens. Now, that wasn't Mythic Dragon, so I'm gonna grab my inner sleeves. And sleeve it up for now, so that way. And if we run into anything that's foiled but crinkled, And crinkles is like, it looks like a Pringle. I have a system for that. Oh, that one's next. Ooh, that has to. If you haven't seen it, I have a giant deck, and this is called Giant Fall. It almost feels fitting for the deck. Brie of Clown Stout Arm. Oh, are we gonna see Brian Stout Arm again? That would be a cool reprint. Alright, so another target creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end turn. Alright, that's cool. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, exile cards from the top of your library to exile an online card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if the spell mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Ooh! Spicy! That might go in my lightning deck. Because I have life gain system in that one. So, I'm one of the few people. So, this year we have Lorwyn Eclipse and Strixhaven. So those are going to be two I crack open. Then there's going to be a hiatus on these videos for a little bit because we have. I don't really go for Universes Beyond play boosters. Unless I really like the genre. And that's the one I'm going to be spoiling is there's a chance I'll probably be doing this for Star Trek. Just because I love the artwork of so far they've done a great job with the artwork of Star Trek, and I might just do it for the artwork collection alone. Oh. Dawnhand Eulogist. The artwork alone is beautiful, but yet it's gonna not see play. Don't worry, you're gonna see play in my deck. I'm gonna figure out how to make an Elf Warlock work. Mm-hmm. Elf Warlock. Elemental Sorcerer. Ashleen's Command. It's an elemental spell. Kindred elemental spell. Choose 2. Create a token copy that's the top of a target elemental you control. Target player draws 2 cards. Deals 2 damage to each creature target player controls. Or makes 2 treasures. For 5 mana. But you choose 2. Cool. And then later on this year, there's going to be a month where I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos on going through my entire collection. And the reason why that is I've purchased a card butler. It's a small automatic scanning machine for cards, and that's supposed to arrive somewhere in February or March. And well, these videos are coming out in February, so I might have it by the time these videos air. But if it does come out at that time, we're good. Also, for any of you question, if you've seen my other videos that I'm not wearing glasses, I have contacts. I just swap between the two because it depends on what I'm doing for the day. Ooh, Kolrath Zealot. I mean, look at that. What? This is why I do this. Artwork alone makes me. This is how I buy my art. Okay, I'm a cheapskate. I like random art things. It's a 6 mana 6/5 with basic land cycling. Lava Leaper. Ooh, all creatures have haste. When player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds it. It's a mana doubler plus that. I think I see I think I see a some form of don't have the basic land. Play that on a red deck. Oh yeah, might be what I do with Karlach. I have a Karlach deck I'm looking at revamping before it comes onto the stream because she's right now Voltron-y, but not Voltron-y enough. I do love art card works in red. Cinder Strike. For 1 in red, at the initial cost of this spell, you may blight 1. Cinder Strike deals 2 damage to target creature. It deals 4 damage to that creature instead of this spell's additional cost was paid. Real simple. So it's Shock with a possibility to become Lightning Bolt +1. Endblaze Epiphany. Endblaze Epiphany is X in a red. When it deals X damage to target creature, when that creature dies this turn, exile target a number of cards on the top of your library equal to that power. Then choose a card exile this way. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Not amazing in my opinion, but I mean, if you're playing, if red needs card draw, it always has needed card draw, and it always does it weirdly, like exile and discard to draw more. Evolving Wilds, always a good little piece to have. Full Art Vibrance. Ooh, we got a mythic and a rare. Yeah. So Vibrance is when this creature enters, if 2 red were spent to cast it, this creature deals 3 damage to any target. When this creature enters, if 2 green were spent to cast it, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you gain 2 life. Evoke for 2 red or 2 green. I like that. Depending on which way you go, you can either get search your library for a land card. Not a basic land, a land card. And Grub, Storied Matriarch. 2 and a black. Menace, whenever this creature enters, transform it into Grub, Storied Matriarch. Whenever the creature enters or transforms, return up to 1 target goblin from your graveyard to your hand. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay red if you do transform Grub. Grub then becomes Grub, Notorious Auntie, which is Menace. Whenever Grub attacks, you may blight. If you do, create tapped an attacking token that is a copy of the blighted creature, except it has at the beginning of the step, sacrifice this token. Interesting to have a... Best way to put it, a Psycho Goblin. Psycho Goblin. Run away. I'm totally gonna get... Mirror Form. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent. Non-aura. Interesting. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent. So if you have something that has hexproof and indestructible on it, yeah, I see where that's going. we've reached the bottom of the first pile. There's 2 more piles to go. Oh, I found a new giant. Giant warrior, double strike. Other giants you control have double strike. That is being set aside for a certain deck of mine that is giant wizards and giants, wizards, and spells. Oh my! Trusted Callous Cultivator. 2 and a green for a Death Touch 3/4 Druid elf. Whenever this creature enters or transforms, mill 3 cards, and if there's an elf card in your graveyard, you gain 2 life. Pay a black and you can transform it. It turns into Petite Color. Death Touch 3/4. Whenever the creature transforms into mill 3 cards, and then you may pay. So pretty much you're just flipping it so you can do elf mill. Not the worst I've seen, not the best I've seen. So far I see 1 card that's being added to a deck, and I see a few ideas. Enraged Flamecaster. 2 and a red for reach. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. It's Gutter Snipe, but only for heavier spells. That'll stay out. High Perfect Morcant. 2 black green for an elf noble. Of course, it's an elf. If you haven't noticed, all the elves look nice in this deck. The one thing I hate about Lorwyn is the elves are bigot against ugliness. Yeah, they have a bigotry against being ugly. But that's Lorwyn for you. Not so great. Because I haven't found one ugly elf yet. Even the goblins look okay, which is nice to see. Oh, look at that little shapeshifter feastling. Changeling, lifelink, 2 in white black. Oop. Full art there. Another full art. All right. So what I'm putting these in is I'm putting them in Dragon Shield inner sleeves. Because that way I can still put them in my binder. Oh, this is just Lava Leaper again. Just a cuter version of Lava Leaper. Eclipse Kiskin. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Kiskin, forest, or plains from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. And that was for 2 green or 2 white or a hybrid of 2. Starting off with Evolving Wilds. More not ugly elves. Taster of Wares. 2 in a black. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals X cards from their hand, where X is the number of goblins you control. You can choose one of those cards, then player exiles it. Instance, if it is, you may cast it for as long as you control this creature. The mana of that spell can be cast as if it was. Yeah. So it's a spell you want to cast that way. Cool. Alright. My pile of cards is getting a bit tall, so I'm pulling up the packs. And this is what I normally do. Is I restack the cards in the box. A lot of them we've already seen before, so that's why I'm not really talking about them. This is how it kind of goes. Risk the Evermore. 1 and a white. Flash, when Wraith enters, the target creature gains persist until end of turn. Remove any number of counters from target creature you control. Activate all. Okay. Not the best I've ever seen, not the worst I've ever seen. That I got 2 lava hoppers makes me really happy. The lava hopper is just going to be a fun little card, I think. Oh, full art. Oh. Twin Flame Travelers. 2 in a blue-red. Flying, if you trigger an ability of another emblem until you control it triggers an additional time. I have a place for that. Brainleaf Drum. Harmonized Crescendo. Convoke. Choose a creature type. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. I have a place somewhere. Don't know where yet. Oh, we got a double rare this time. Grub's Command. 3 in a black-red. Choose 2. Create a token copy of target goblin you control. Creatures that target player controls get +1/+1 and haste until end of turn. Destroy target artifact or creature. Target player mills 5 cards and puts each goblin card milled this way into their hand. If you can mill your goblins. I've seen about 3 decks thus far that have played goblins that have whiffed on goblins. Oh, and our full art was Eclipse Marrow. A Merfolk Scout, 3 blue or white. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Merfolk, plains, or island from among them and put that into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Shockland for white green. So again, that's pay 2 and it comes in untapped. Goliath Daydreamer, 2 in 2 red for a giant wizard. This might fit that deck. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead and put it in your graveyard instead of putting it in your graveyard as a result. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among the cards you own inside of the exile. You own in exile with dream counters on them without paying that's met. That's Arcane Bombardment on a creature. Yeah, she has a home somewhere. Arcane Bombardment is one of my pet cards I love. Because being able to trigger a full effect of those spells is nice. Tweeze! Deals 3 damage to any target. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. This little fairy pulling a giant's nose hair. That's going into a deck. Oh. Another pair. Moonshadow. One black menace. This creature enters with 6 -1/-1 counters on it. So it's really a 1/1. Whenever one or more permanent cards you are putting in your graveyard from anywhere while this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, remove that counter. So it gets stronger the more cards go into your graveyard. So graveyard recursion decks will love her. And we've already talked about High Priest of Morikant, so we will skip her. But I got a nice foil version of the Morikant, which means that Morikant's the one that doesn't flip. Boulder Dash! 1 in a red. Boulder Dash deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to any other target. Makes sense, it's a boulder. Deepway Navigator. When this creature enters, untap each other merfolk you control. And it has Flash. As long as you attach with 3 or more merfolk this turn, merfolk you control get +1/+0. I don't play merfolk. I almost want to send that to someone I know who plays merfolk. But they'll already have it by now. Because they buy singles. Fluttering Nuisance. Flying, this creature comes in with a -1/-1 counter on it. Remove a counter from this creature whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn. Draw a card. Yeah, it's fine. My chair moves back on me. That's why you guys can't see me. Disruptor of Currents. 3 and 2 blue for a Merfolk Wizard with Flash. Can be convoked, so that means the colorless cost can be paid with creatures that you control. Whenever a creature enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. Wow, this pack had some decent stuff. So 2 full arts, so I need to pull 2 small sleeves. Disruptor of Currents is 3 and 2 blue. Flash Convoke. When this creature is returned, we've already just talked about Disruptor of Currents. Eclipsed Elf. It's black or green for 3 in full hybrid. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may... Okay, so it does what the other ones do for that we've seen thus far. Gathering Stone. As this artifact enters, choose a creature type. Spells you cast of that chosen type or cost 1 less to cast. When this artifact enters at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't, put that card in your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. So it's surveilling for Kindred. Rimfire Torque. 1 a blue. As this artifact enters, choose the creature type. Whenever you permanent you control with the chosen type enters, put a charge counter on the artifact. Remove 3 charge counters from this artifact. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. You may choose to do hotkeys for the spell. Okay. I haven't had a hard pack yet. That's nice. Sapling Nursery. Affinity for Forest. This spell costs 1 less for each you cast for each forest you control. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 3/4 green treefolk creature token. Exile this enchantment. Treefolk and forest you control gain indestructible till end of turn. Nice. Champions of the Perfect. This tells you what the elves are in Lorwyn just perfectly. As an additional cost of this spell, behold an elf and exile it. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, return all exiled cards to its owner's hands. The special land for this is a land. As this land enters, choose elemental, fairy, elf, fairy, giant, goblin, kiskin, merfolk, or treefolk. Add 1. Add 1 color of any mana of any color. Spend this mana only cast the spells of the chosen type or activate the abilities of sources of the chosen type. Morkchant's Loyalist. 1 blue-green for or black-green for an elf warrior. Other elves you control get 1/1. When this creature dies, return another target elf card from your graveyard to your hand. Good for elf recursion. Just making sure everything's still recording. Prismatic Undercurrents looks great. For the actual like artwork again. Shadow Urchin. Whenever this creature attacks, blight 1. Yeah. Boring. I don't love blight. I'll be honest. As reading blight goes, I'm not a big fan of the blight mechanic. Bogart Kirkcrafter, Dom Blessed Pennant. Okay, I got a bonus sheet card, which we'll get to. Adept Water Shaper. Other tap creatures you control have indestructible. Solid. Very solid. So bonus sheet cards have the symbol is a inverted 5-point pentagon. This is 1 and 2 black for a flying. Discard this card. Exile up to 2 target cards from a graveyard. Nice. And Bogart, Cursecrafter, it's Goblin Warlock, Death Touch for red and black. Whenever another goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Pulled one for art. Explosive Prodigy, Vivid, 1 black. But, I mean, again, I just like the elemental artwork in this one. Bloodline Bidding. Sorcery Convoke, 6 and 2 black. Choose the creature type. Return all creature cards of the chosen type from the graveyard to the battlefield. Decent, decent. Morningtide's Light. 3 and a white for a sorcery. Exile a number of target creatures at the beginning of your next end step. Return those creatures to the battlefield tapped under your order's control. Until the next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. And exile. Collective Inferno. Convoke 3 and 2 red. As this creature enters the battlefield, or when as its enchantment enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Double all damage that sources you control of the chosen type would deal. I have a damage doubling deck. That's going to be seeing it moved into that deck pretty soon. Because it's partial kindred too. Tam, Gorgon Wizard. 1 in green, blue. Each other creature you control has hexproof from each of its colors. Target creature you control becomes all colors until end of turn. Can't say I've ran into a Gorgon Wizard before. We're almost at the end. The video's almost over. Champion of the Weird. That's all I can say about my decks. 3 and a black. Behold a goblin in exile. It pay 1 life, blight 2. Our target opponent blights 2. Activate only as a sorcery. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return exile cards to its owner's hands. Yeah, that's fine, but Maryland, Fey Ascendant. Flying whenever Maryland or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top 2 cards of an opponent's library. 1 each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less or equal to the number of elves or fairies you control from among the cards. Exile this way without paying its mana cost. Nice. And what's in our final? A Great Forest Druid, a Bone Club Berserker, and High Perfect Moricant. 3 freaking Morchants. I hope you had fun. It was a joy doing this. I plan on doing this for each set, only 1 box each. So the next one will be Strixhaven, Secrets of Strixhaven. That should be a fun set. And then I think we have TMNT in the middle of the fourth. No, that comes after TMNT, then Marvel Superheroes, then Fractured. Oh, hold on, Lorwyn, Strixhaven, TMNT, Marvel. Oh, there's a Hobbit in there. Fractured, Reality Fracture, and Star Trek. That's 7, yeah. All right. You all have fun. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video if you see me.